All right, got another project for you. This dog wants audio video equipment over in a closet, which we've done over here. Got a little thing there and a bunch of stuff over here. And because I've moved everything in here, network equipment, all of this stuff, Xboxes, it does generate heat in here. There's a boom box down there. And so to put it all in the closet and close this door, it needs to be ventilated better than it is with a closed door. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut panels out of the door and ventilate it. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. Here's how we're going to do it. This is just an ordinary hollow door, about 40, 50 bucks or so at your Home Depot, Lowe's, etc. Obviously, if you already have a door, you can and should just use that one. But I forgot to mention, I tried this before and I made a big mess out of that because I tried to do that with a saber saw and that didn't work so well. So I'm going to use a router this time, and I'm going to fence off and cut out these top two panels just right in here, just underneath that perfectly. And then I got this pretty nice looking screen. There's a lot of different patterns that you can do. And once I cut that out, I'm gonna slip this in from the top. I'll have to cut a slot in the top. I'm gonna slip it in where it's gonna fit in between those, and I'll have two nice looking panels here. And then I'm also gonna trim probably about a half of an inch off the bottom for better ventilation, because I want the air to flow from the bottom out through the top. So let's get started cutting these panels out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to drill a little hole here for the router bit to go down to, and I want to be real careful and I don't eat into the edge that I'm routing against. And I also have a bit that's the same size as the router bit. Okay, I just went all the way down just to the end of it there. I don't know if you can see this here. Made a nice clean cut edge there. So I'll do the same thing on the other side here. And then I'm gonna switch my fences and do all the other edges the same way. Same thing over here. I can't stress how important it is to make sure your fencing is spot on, everything's clamped down. If none of that stuff is perfectly accurate, you're gonna botch it up, so get that correct. I'm going all the way over, but not all the way through the corner. So this cut is going to be a little more complicated because my fence is in the middle. And so what I'm going to do, I can't clamp it in the middle. So I'm going to clamp it on the end, but I'm actually going to go ahead and drill a hole and put a wood screw in it to hold it in place. You know, that little hole will fill in with something later, but that's the only thing we can do because you can't clamp it in the middle. One panel is out. And there we go. Both openings are cut pretty perfectly. Not really any mistakes. Just a little bit of I overran it just a little bit there and created a little nick, but that'll be easy to hide or repair. So now I'm gonna go in here and clean up all this stuff. Just clean it up real good. Paint it a little bit on the inside. And then we're going to cut our slits in the top so that we can slide our screen in. All right, so now I need to cut some slots in the top of this door so we can slide in a piece of that screen, and then we'll seal it off later. Really just needs to be just a little bit longer than the opening. Okay, so we've cleaned that up a little bit. and cut off a piece of our screen. And you want it to be just a little bit bigger than the hole. And we're going to slide it into our slot here that we've cut. And it's going to slide in just like that. And there you go. I'm not going to leave it in there right now because I want to paint all this and clean this up real good. I'll probably paint the back edge of that wood black because we're going to need to put a little bit of framing behind that to hold it tight up against that board. But you get the general idea of how this works. Okay, so we ended up trimming about 1/8 of an inch off of this because the door was just a little bit too wide. But if you need to do that, it's not a big deal. You just put a fence on it and use your skill saw and run down it. Just take it slow, measure it really good, clamp down your fences real good. And one thing is, on these hollow core doors, this is a little piece of wood here, but it's only, about 3/4 of an inch thick. So if you have to cut more than that, you're running a little risk in destabilizing the integrity of the door. But I only had to take off about 1/8 of an inch. That wasn't a big deal. So now we're just painting it, letting it dry. Made sure I spent a lot of time in here getting good paint on that so that it's good and solid. And once we let that dry, we'll paint the other side, and then we'll put the screens in. We painted the door both sides and got it all back in place. Just standard procedure, hanging the door, nothing special. Got the doorknob back in there. And up here, which is what our main focus is, those came out really good. I'm real happy with those. But I was going to show you what you have to do is, if you notice this one, you can see a little bit of the white edge in the back, and that's from the back painted side, whereas this one you don't. And so a couple of different ways to do this, but what I did is I just put black weather stripping in here and also in here, and that holds this in place for one thing, but it also, this one doesn't have it yet. I'm going to put it in here. But if you don't have that, you can see the white edge through it. So I intentionally left this one undone so you can see the difference. I hope you can see that in the camera. You see the white edge coming through, whereas over here it's just completely black. So, and in my case, I only have to do one side. You don't really see that one or that one, but you get the general idea there. So there you have it. That is how you create a ventilated closet door for your electronic equipment to keep everything cool and happy. Hope this helps, and we'll see you on the next one.